if you'll make sure that you have this Unit 4 review out in front of you, this is the review before you take your test on Friday for me. It says, which order pair is a solution to the linear inequality below? I have y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 7. So since this is graph ready, I'm going to put that m is negative 2, and I like it as a fraction, so over 1, and that b is 7. We always start with b, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then negative 2 over 1 tells me to go down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, and I keep up my pattern. I look at my inequality. This is a solid line because it has the bar, and since it's greater than, we're going to shade, wrote the wrong word, above. So I draw in my line. I'm going to shade above the line, and above would be this smaller portion because we think of the line as a hill and we walk on ground, which is above. And then I'm going to just check my order pairs and see where they fall because I want the one in the solution set. So negative 1 and 5 is right there, so not A. 3 and 2 is right there. 2 and negative 8, so not C. And negative 4, 0, so not D. B is my answer. Okay, same exact thing, except this one it's not in y equals, so you must move the x by changing the sign. That gives me negative 3y is less than negative 2x plus 9. And then we must divide by negative 3. Now remember, divide by a negative, flip inequality. So therefore, this becomes y is greater than, we can't do 2 divided by 3, and a negative divided by negative is a positive. You can do 9 divided by negative 3, which gives you negative 3. Okay, so now my m is 2/3 and my b is negative 3. So I'm going to start down 3. And I'm going to rise 2 and run 3. Rise 2 and run 3. And then I'm going to go back to the original, do the opposite. Down 2 and left 3. Down 2 and left. That was 2. Left 3. Okay, then I draw in. I'm using this inequality. It is a dashed line because it doesn't have a bar. And we're going to shade above. Okay, so above would be up here. So now I check my order pairs. I've got 6 and negative 4, not A. I've got negative 1 and negative 9 would be like down here, so not B. I've got 2 and negative 5. And I've got negative 3 and negative 3. And that's the only one that falls in the shaded, so D is my answer. Okay, moving to the next page. Okay, a student is ordering a box of chocolates. He can choose any combinations of caramel-filled and almond-filled chocolate pieces in his box. He does not want to spend more than $10. If the caramel-filled costs $2 and the almond-filled costs $1, which inequality represents all possible combinations of X caramels and Y almonds? So X have to go with caramel, Y has to go with almonds, and I know that caramel costs 2, so I'm going to put 2 right there. And that almond cost 1, so I'm going to put a 1 right here. Therefore, now that I know 2 has to go with X and 1 has to go with Y, so I can cross off C, I can cross off D. They have the letters backwards. And he does not want to spend more than $10, so he's looking at spending $10. He could spend exactly 10 or he could spend less than 10. So the only inequality that matches that would be B. Okay, for number 4, the table below shows Luke's golf score each week he participated in a golf tournament. Which statement represents the correct interpretation of the data? Now remember on this, I reviewed this just the other day with you. When you're using your calculator to figure out if it's a strong or a weak correlation, let me clear my calculator. You're going to go to mode, and you're going to scroll down until you get to stat diagnostic, and you're going to turn it on. Then you go to stat, and you hit enter. You're going to type your weeks into the first column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, then I'm going to move over and I'm going to type in my scores, which is 95, 92, 89, 88, 86, and 84. Okay, now that I have that, I go stat over to calculate. We want number 4. down to calculate. And remember, we are going to keep 3 decimal places. So y equals negative 2 point. I'm going to go 1, 1. I'm looking at the 4, but I got to look at the number behind it. 2 doesn't change the 4. Keep x. Plus, and then since b doesn't have 3 decimal places, I just take what they have. Remember to look at r for the correlation. The closer it is to 1, the stronger it is, or negative 1. This is a 0.9, so this is strong. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate A and D because this is strong. And then I'm going to look if it's positive or negative. All you have to do is look at the slope. This one has a negative slope, so this is a strong negative. Okay, for number 5, a linear inequality in 2 variables is shown below. 2x minus y is greater than or equal to negative 3, and I want to know which graph matches this. The first thing I'm going to do is get y by itself by moving the x and changing the sign. That leaves me with negative, and I'm going to put 1y greater than or equal to negative 2x minus 3. From here, I have to divide by negative 1. And remember, flip inequality when dividing by a negative. Okay, so therefore this becomes y is less than or equal to 2x plus 3. Using this new inequality, I know this is a solid line, and we're going to shade below. So I'm going to throw away b and d right now. Those aren't solid lines. Then I look at a and c. Well, one is shaded above and one is shaded below. I want below, so my answer is a. Okay, for number 6, if y is directly proportional to the value of x, if y equals 3, then x equals 12. What is the value of y when x is 18? Now remember, for direct variation, you always do y over x. So they told me y is 3 and x is 12, and I'm going to set it equal to, they want me to find the y value, and x is 18. So now we just have to multiply. 3 times 18 and 12 times y. Well, 12 times y is 12y. And 3 times 18, that would be 54. Okay, then I divide by 12, and I get y equals, so using your calculator, 54 divided by 12 gives you 4.5. Number 7, line F is graphed on the coordinate plane below. Which linear equation can be used to represent a line parallel to line F passing through the point -1, -2? Okay, so this is already passing. Oh, wait, we want a line parallel. So we want a line that passes through -1, -2, so down here. And their slope is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I can't go down 3, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want this line right here. Well, this line is crossing at y equals, and this is a -1x, because we want parallel, so same. That's a slope of -1. And it crosses the y-intercept at 5, right there. And this is not 5, -3. I don't know what I'm thinking. -3. I was just counting 4, and so I just assumed -3. So now I got to check these lines. No, we're going to do this differently. We want parallel. Well, we know that this slope is -1. This will be easier. Okay, so we're going to do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's what they want you to do when they give you that point. I didn't read the whole problem. I'm sorry. So we're going to do y minus -2 equals, a parallel slope would be -1 times x minus -1. I'm going to fix both of my double negatives. And then I get -1x minus 1, and this becomes y plus 2 equals. I subtract 2, and I get y equals -1x minus 3. So it was the same equation. So now when you're doing this, none of these answers are actually going to match, but what you're going to have to do is take the x and move it over by adding x. Y is now by itself, but that equation doesn't match this. It doesn't even have the same slope. Okay, and then I'm going to minus the x on this one to get it over there, and y is by itself, but the y-intercept doesn't match. And then I'm going to minus the x on this one, but since it's a negative y, we have to divide by -1, which gives me 1 minus plus 1x. Again, I don't have the right slope. I need a negative slope. Okay, so for D, we're going to add the x this time, and then y is by itself, but again, we have the same issue. It doesn't give us the correct y-intercept. So I just wanted to show you all the work. The answer is, I'm going to put E, this right here. Okay, for number 8, which of the following situations best describes causation? Now, causation, all you're talking about is like, can this affect this? It's cause and effect. So the weather gets colder and then more people become sick. So if the weather gets cold, does that mean people always become sick? Children who have larger feet size have a higher reading ability. Would foot size even affect reading? Definitely not. An hourly employee works more hours and therefore makes more money. So if you get paid hourly and you work more hours, would you make more money? Definitely. As the temperature in Florida increases, there are more shark attacks. So does that mean as it gets hotter, there's more shark attacks? Can't shark attacks happen in the cold? So not D. So I know C definitely works. I'm going to go back to A. The weather gets colder and more people get sick. People don't always necessarily get sick because it's cold. So C is my best answer for cause and effect. Okay, moving to 9, which inequality is shown on the graph? Okay, this one is one of those special lines. It's only crossing a certain axis. So if you label your axis X and Y, this is crossing Y. So I'm going to get rid of A and B. Therefore, I need to figure out where it's crossing at, and it's crossing at 3. And they shaded below, so that means a less than. So my answer is C. Okay, for number 10, the data in the graph shows the resting heart rates in ages of 24 students in an aerobics class. Which function best models the data for the graph? Okay, so we're looking for a line of best fit. For this graph, I'm going to kind of try to draw one in. Remember, a line of best fit would divide the dots. Okay, I can cross off C right away because they don't have an X, so they're telling me that it's not rising or running any. And then I'm going to look. They have -2/5. So am I dropping about 2 and running about 5? Not really. Am I dropping about 3 and running about 5? Yes. I would go with D because I didn't drop about 2 and then run 5. Even though I didn't, my line looks like it's starting at 80. If I were to straighten it out, it'd be somewhere in between. Okay, line G has the following characteristics. Line G is perpendicular to the line represented by the equation -2, 6, and line G passes through the point -2, 3. Okay, perpendicular. This means opposite reciprocal. Okay, if slope is -2, my perpendicular slope would become +1/2. This is the slope we're going to use. This is the point we're going to use. So we're going to use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm going to do y minus 3 equals, okay, m is 1/2, open parentheses, x minus, and then that's -2. I'm going to fix my double negative. This becomes 1/2 x, and that becomes 1. And I have y minus 3. I'm going to add the 3. I get y equals 1/2 x. You can't see my work. Plus 4. So my answer would be A. Okay, for the last one, Marcia recorded the time it took 7 children of different ages to run 1 lap around the track. Using the line of best fit, which is the closest to the length and time it should take Marcia's 6-year-old niece to run 1 lap. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clear that calculator. And then I'm going to turn my stat diagnostic on. So mode, stat diagnostic, turn it on, and I'm going to go stat. And I'm going to put in all this information. I'm trying to move this up to where it can be seen. Sorry. So stat edit. We got 4, 8, 10, 11, 14, 14, and 18. Moving over, I have 225, 185, 138, 130, 112, 106, and 52. Make sure that they're lined up column-wise, and then we do stat calc number 4, down to calculate. Okay, keep 3 decimal places. So this is going to be y equals negative 12.12. I'm going to look at the 5. The 2 behind it keeps the 5 the same. And then I put plus 272 point. I'm going to keep 27. I'm going to look at the 1. The 0 behind it keeps it a 1. That's a 7, guys. Sorry. Okay, now this is again a strong correlation because it's 0.9. And they want me to find 6 years. Okay, well, years. Wait. Okay, years old. This is age. So they gave me X. So I'm going to do negative 12.125 times 6 plus 272.271. Okay, so here we go. Negative 12.125 times 6 plus 272.71. I'm going to hit enter, and I get y equals 199.96. And if I were to round that, it said for the closest time, this would round this up to 200 seconds, so B. All right, that's your review. If you have any questions, y'all get to ask Thursday before your test Friday, so good luck to you.